Welcome back to the Dinar Daily channel. Today, we stand at a threshold in global finance, a moment long anticipated by countless individuals across the world. For decades, the Iraqi dinar, known by its currency code IQD, has occupied a unique place in the minds of investors, currency enthusiasts, and its dedicated holders. The question was never if Iraq would re-engage with the global economy, but when its national currency would once again be an active participant on the international stage. Years of speculation, rumors, and unverified reports have created a constant cycle of hope and frustration, making it difficult for many to believe that this day would ever arrive. Yet, a pivotal development is now underway that fundamentally alters this narrative. The Iraqi dinar has reportedly and officially surfaced on the screens of international Forex, foreign exchange markets. Traders and institutions worldwide are now seeing the IQD listed alongside established global heavyweights. The familiar presence of the US dollar, the euro, the Japanese yen, the British pound, and the Swiss franc has now been joined by the ticker for the currency of Iraq. This is not the circulation of an unverified claim or a fleeting social media post, but a visible presence on multiple major trading platforms. Reports indicate this is now confirmed, visible and actively featured on key financial data providers, including Bloomberg, Reuters, and the widely used retail trading platform MetaTrader. The significance of this appearance is immense, pointing toward more than just a return for the dinar. It suggests a potential gradual shift in the dynamics of global currency trading and the reintegration of an economy with substantial resources. We are now in a position to explore the many facets and implications of this reported, unprecedented financial event. Imagine the start of a typical trading day in London, one of the world's financial hubs. Professional traders were going through their routine, scanning a familiar list of currency pairings, expecting the usual activity from the dominant currencies. Their screens usually display only the dollar, the euro, the yen, the pound, and the Swiss franc. Suddenly, an unusual sight appeared, an unfamiliar three-letter ticker flashing across their monitors. IQD. Initially, most might have dismissed it as a technical issue, a system error that would quickly be corrected by their firm's IT support. However, as corroboration began to filter in from other key financial centers, including Frankfurt, Tokyo, New York, and Dubai, the reality of the situation became impossible to ignore. The Iraqi dinar had indeed been introduced to the global Forex market. This was not confined to a single local exchange or a niche platform. It was a widespread international phenomenon. Within minutes, market participants realized they were witnessing a moment of historical importance, an event with the potential for wide-ranging effects on currency valuation, international commerce, and the standing of individuals who have held the currency for many years. The sudden news prompted intense activity on trading floors. Phones were reportedly ringing constantly, brokers swiftly moved to adjust their strategies, and vast sums of capital began to shift as automated trading systems and large, institutional funds activated pre-programmed responses to the dinar's sudden appearance. Experienced traders have compared the sheer scope and immediate, global attention of this event to the magnitude of significant past developments, such as the initial launch of the euro, noting that few currency events in contemporary history have caused such an immediate, worldwide reaction. In the hours immediately following the IQD's surfacing on trading screens, a document reported to be a leaked banking memo emerged, seeming to provide official confirmation to the millions who have followed the dinar's story. The document, purportedly originating from a high-level financial institution, offered crucial details regarding the official status of the Iraqi dinar, aiming to clear up any uncertainties about its legitimacy in the eyes of the financial world. It suggested an orchestrated rather than spontaneous event. According to reports on the memo's content, the IQD is now officially featured, fully functional, and capable of being traded across global markets, receiving recognition from key international financial authorities. The document reportedly outlines several crucial points for observers and market participants to consider. Firstly, the Iraqi dinar has been reinstated on international trading platforms. Secondly, its trading activity is being monitored by global central banks and major financial institutions. And thirdly, infrastructure is in place to support liquidity, conversion, and trading on a global scale. The suggested implications are significant. This represents more than a mere currency update. It serves as a reported validation of the patience demonstrated by those who have held the dinar for long periods. It also sends a signal to financial markets that Iraq is positioning itself to play a more integrated role in the global economy, reminding observers that geopolitical and economic shifts can swiftly reshape the international financial system. For those who maintain their belief, the reported memo acts as a turning point, offering clarity, official status, and the reassurance that the anticipated moment is now reportedly in effect. Behind the scenes of the reported reintroduction of the Iraqi dinar, there appears to have been meticulous preparation to ensure that this sudden re-entry into the global sphere would proceed with as much stability as possible. Long before the IQD ticker flashed on trading screens, agreements for liquidity support were reportedly established with major banking institutions in the United States, the United Kingdom, and various locations across Asia. These preparatory arrangements were likely designed to stabilize early trading, mitigate sudden shocks, and ensure the market could process large volumes of transactions without excessive disruption. The reported existence of these liquidity arrangements underscores a significant level of preparation involved in this rollout. This was not presented as a spontaneous or emergency reaction, but as a calculated maneuver. Furthermore, beyond the technical financial preparations, special exchange desks were reportedly activated for high-net-worth clients, institutional investors, and hedge funds who had quietly positioned themselves over time in anticipation of this day. These specialized desks were reportedly staffed and equipped to manage substantial transaction volumes, facilitating the smooth and efficient movement of capital across international markets. When the reported memo confirming the IQD's official trading status surfaced, it strongly suggested that this entire sequence of events had been orchestrated with considerable precision. What was previously often dismissed as wishful thinking, speculation, or mere rumor reportedly gave way to clear, observable market evidence. The financial world, it appeared, was witnessing the unveiling of a significant currency event, one that had been years in the making, confirming that patience and foresight could potentially be rewarded in unexpected ways. Once the IQD appeared on trading screens, the initial reaction was one of profound astonishment at the reported early rates. Initial Forex rates reportedly showed fluctuations that included figures in the range of $5 per dinar and even higher, a valuation that would have been unimaginable to even the most optimistic long-term holders of the currency. To illustrate the magnitude, a single 25,000 IQD note, which may have been valued at a minimal amount of U.S. currency in recent decades, suddenly represented a potentially life-altering sum, anywhere from a reported $125,000 to over $160,000. Depending on the specific market and the precise moment of a transaction. The sheer scale of these reported valuations astounded many ordinary individuals who had held onto their currency notes for years, often without any real expectation of a substantial return. For these individuals, what was once a token of hope or a symbolic investment was suddenly transformed into a potential source of transformative wealth. Even veteran analysts who had often cautioned about currency volatility and the unlikelihood of such a dramatic change were reportedly compelled to acknowledge the new market reality. The Iraqi dinar, they noted, is no longer solely a speculative item confined to online communities. It has reportedly returned to the global stage as a functional, tradable, and officially recognized currency. The reported numbers alone conveyed a seismic shift in the financial landscape, indicating enormous opportunities while simultaneously prompting considerations about long-term stability, tax implications, and the management of sudden significant wealth for those now finding themselves holding high-value assets. The worldwide reaction to the IQD's reported return was immediate and intense, reflecting the exceptional nature of this event. In Asia, reports suggested that trading platforms were overwhelmed by record volumes as demand from both individual investors and institutional buyers reportedly outpaced the available supply at historic levels. Automated trading algorithms were said to be struggling to process the huge volume of orders, often executing transactions in fractions of a second and contributing to volatility that surprised even highly experienced market operators. Meanwhile, in Europe, major financial centers like London and Frankfurt experienced similar intense activity. Brokers reportedly described the surges in action as unlike anything in recent memory, with trading floors buzzing as professional. Traders scrambled to adjust their portfolios and attempt to capitalize on the sudden opportunities. The intense concentration of activity reportedly created a sense of controlled upheaval, where financial strategy, sophisticated technology, and precise timing converged in a manner rarely observed outside of major historic economic events. In the United States, by the time Wall Street opened for business, major media outlets had pivoted to continuous, extensive coverage. Financial news networks like CNBC, Bloomberg, and others reportedly devoted significant resources to reporting on every fluctuation, trade, and headline related to the IQD for hours. The Iraqi dinar dominated news cycles, reportedly overshadowing the typical movements of the dollar. Major stock indices and commodities. Both experienced investors and casual observers were reportedly unified in their attention, witnessing a moment of financial history that will likely be studied and remembered for decades. As news of the IQD's global return circulated, financial experts from various sectors reportedly offered their analysis, confirming that this was not merely a fleeting anomaly but a consequential and planned event. Michael Anderson, a London-based strategist with years of experience tracking emerging markets, reportedly highlighted Iraq's recent stabilization efforts and its robust oil export strategy as pivotal factors that enabled the currency's re-entry. Anderson suggested that Iraq had created a rare convergence of political stability and economic infrastructure that allowed the dinar to rejoin international markets with minimal complication. His commentary reinforced the idea of a deliberate process. Concurrently, Sarah Lee, a prominent analyst based in Hong Kong, reportedly drew attention to the liquidity levels observed during the initial trading sessions, noting that the involvement of institutional investors was evident and significant. Lee emphasized that this was not purely the result of individual speculation or social media enthusiasm. Global banks, large hedge funds, and wealthy investors had reportedly been preparing quietly for years, ready to act the moment the IQD returned to the screens. Perhaps the most impactful commentary came from James Carter, a reported former U.S. Treasury advisor, whose words aimed to capture the gravity of the situation. "This is not speculation anymore. It's policy." Carter's statement reportedly emphasized that the reintroduction of the IQD was supported by deliberate, strategic governmental and financial planning, essentially signaling that the currency's return was sanctioned, carefully executed, and poised to have long-lasting effects on international trade and investment flows. Collectively, these expert voices frame the event not as a minor market blip, but as a moment of historical importance demanding careful attention from anyone engaged with currency markets. For many years, those holding the Iraqi dinar endured significant skepticism and sometimes outright dismissal. Friends, family, and even financial advisors often discounted the currency as a dream or a dead-end prospect. Yet, despite the criticism, many held onto their notes, driven by a firm hope and a conviction that one day the global market would acknowledge the IQD's underlying value. That day, it appears, is now here. The dinar that was carefully stored is reportedly no longer merely a collectible or a symbol of potential hope. It is now presented as a globally tradable asset with clear value on major financial exchanges. Banks have reportedly activated specialized exchange desks. Trading platforms are showing the currency as fully operational, and liquidity mechanisms are apparently in place to facilitate transactions for both large institutions and individual holders. The psychological shift for these long-term holders is monumental. They are reportedly no longer waiting for an uncertain if They are now in a position to consider the when and how of acting, armed with market access and systems that were previously unavailable. This transformation represents not just potential financial change but also empowerment despite the excitement surrounding the IQD's return. Experts reportedly unanimously caution that the initial hours and days of trading are characterized by extreme volatility. Rates are naturally expected to fluctuate, surge, and dip unpredictably during this initial phase, which is a common consequence of such a significant financial shift entering a live market. Institutional trading systems, algorithms, and individual investors all reportedly react to the shifts in supply and demand, leading to rapid and sometimes dramatic price movements. Experienced analysts reportedly stress that this high volatility is a normal part of the process and should not lead to impulsive decisions. Patience and measured decision-making are considered essential. Investors who act on immediate impulse or attempt to chase every momentary spike risk losing perspective and potentially eroding their gains. The strategic approach recommended by market observers is to closely monitor the markets, carefully consider timing and liquidity, and avoid making decisions driven by overwhelming emotion or market hype. While the short-term volatility is intense, the long-term implication, according to observers, is clear. The IQD has reportedly returned as a legitimate, functioning currency with the potential to generate significant value for holders who remain disciplined and strategic. For those who have waited, the market is no longer a distant hope, but a present reality requiring informed engagement, careful planning, and a clear awareness of both the risks and the opportunities involved. Following the initial period of market shock and excitement, the medium-term focus is expected to shift towards structured financial planning and managed engagement. Major banks and financial institutions are reportedly planning to begin scheduling formal exchange appointments for both individuals and large institutional holders. These consultations will likely offer a range of structured options, including lump sum exchange possibilities for immediate liquidity, or staggered contracts designed to distribute financial exposure over a longer period, along with highly customized packages for institutional portfolios. This next phase of the process requires prudence, careful consideration, and methodical planning. Acting hastily could lead to missed opportunities or suboptimal outcomes, particularly given the inherent volatility in any newly reinstated currency. Financial analysts and advisors recommend a strategic approach, where investors evaluate their personal financial goals, comfort with risk, and long-term needs before executing any transactions. The emphasis, they suggest, should be on achieving sustainable financial growth rather than chasing rapid short-term returns. The long-term implications of the Iraqi dinar's return to global markets extend far beyond the potential financial gains of individual holders. They reflect the wider, potential economic resurgence of Iraq itself. With vast oil reserves, growing international trade relationships, and an improving political landscape, Iraq is well positioned to potentially emerge as a key economic force in the region. The reintroduction of the IQD is not merely a symbolic event. It represents the country's gradual reintegration into global trade networks, the strengthening of its domestic banking infrastructure, and the creation of a currency that can reliably support international commerce. For investors and market participants, this development is more than a singular event. It presents a potential gateway to participate in a multi-year story of growth, modernization, and global alignment. The dinar may serve not only as a tradable asset but also as a symbol of Iraq's economic transformation, reflecting the nation's journey toward greater stability, influence, and prosperity on the global stage. Long-term holders who plan carefully, remain patient, and engage strategically with the emerging market infrastructure have the potential to not only preserve their wealth but also benefit from the potential sustained appreciation of the IQD as Iraq's economy continues its trajectory of growth. Ultimately, this is an invitation to consider the bigger picture beyond immediate gains and to recognize the broader narrative of Iraq's economic development and its consequences for global finance. While the headlines and the foreign exchange screens capture the world's attention, the story behind the IQD's return is also deeply personal, far beyond what any financial chart can convey. For years, countless individuals held on to their Iraqi dinars amidst widespread skepticism and sometimes outright disbelief from those around them. The quiet hope, the moments of uncertainty, and the years of being dismissed as engaging in a fantasy now reportedly find validation. As the dinar is actively displayed on global trading platforms, all those years of quiet conviction are seemingly confirmed. What was once dismissed as an improbable dream has been realized as a verifiable market reality. This serves as a reminder that patience, steadfast belief, and persistence can have tangible, real-world consequences, even in the realm of global finance. The emotional journey accompanying this financial milestone transforms it into a deeply human story, one of perseverance rewarded, hope vindicated, and the enduring capacity of individuals to maintain their belief in the face of long-term uncertainty. The reported rise of the IQD is not just a subject for financial historians. It is a testament to human resilience, to the courage of those who waited without succumbing to cynicism. It is a powerful reminder that behind every currency, every market shift, and every economic headline, there are individual lives profoundly affected and, in this case, potentially transformed. The reported return of the Iraqi dinar to international trading marks a truly historic moment that few predicted would actually come to fruition. For decades, the IQD existed mostly in speculation, in online communities, and in private discussions among dedicated holders who believed in its potential despite persistent skepticism. Today, those private hopes have reportedly manifested as an undeniable market reality. The dinar is reportedly live, fully tradable, and an active participant in global Forex markets. The reported leaked bank memo suggests this re-entry was a meticulously planned, coordinated effort involving major financial institutions across various continents. This whole sequence of events reportedly reflects years of preparation, strategic planning, and collaboration between regulatory bodies and global banks. For both holders and observers, the implications are profound. What was once considered an improbable dream has now become a tangible opportunity, reshaping perspectives on the potential of the IQD and highlighting the value of patience, foresight, and unwavering commitment in financial matters. It is a moment that synthesizes history, finance, and human persistence, reminding all participants that markets can surprise, reward, and validate convictions in ways that defy conventional expectations. Despite the intensity and excitement, it is crucial to re-emphasize that this information is solely for awareness and educational purposes, and not to be construed as financial advice. Foreign exchange markets are inherently volatile, influenced by rapid global economic shifts, political developments, and investor sentiment. Rapid price swings, unexpected fluctuations, and periods of high liquidity are all natural aspects of trading dynamics, especially when a previously inactive currency re-enters the global system with such impact. Decisions made without thorough research or professional guidance can carry substantial risk, and even experienced traders face uncertainty in times of such market upheaval. Every individual investor is responsible for carefully evaluating their unique financial situation, consulting with licensed financial professionals, and developing strategies that align with their personal risk tolerance and long-term financial goals. The purpose of sharing this historical event is to provide context, awareness, and insight so that holders of the IQD can make informed and deliberate decisions, rather than reacting speculatively. While this moment is extraordinary and potentially transformative, it is also a powerful reminder that wisdom, preparation, and prudence remain the most valuable assets for navigating financial opportunities of this scale. Ladies and gentlemen, we are reportedly witnessing a moment that may occur only once in a generation. The Iraqi dinar, after years of anticipation, speculation, and hope, is officially a live presence on international trading platforms. This is reportedly no longer a rumor, a theoretical possibility, or a distant hope. It is a verifiable reality, The IQD is actively displayed and tradable across major global exchanges. For those who maintain their conviction through years of doubt, this is a historic validation of patience, steadfast belief, and faith. Every moment of quiet contemplation about what if now culminates in the proof that long-held dreams, even those widely deemed improbable, can materialize. This moment is about more than just currency value. It is a narrative of perseverance rewarded, resilience acknowledged, and the tangible outcomes that arise from unwavering belief. Investors, holders, and observers are now participants in a story that will be recounted in financial history for decades, a story that dramatically showcases the profound impact of patience and strategic foresight in the world of global finance. The journey does not conclude here. While the IQD is actively trading, the market remains dynamic, and new developments will continue to unfold over the coming hours, days, and months. This remains a time for careful observation, deliberate planning, and informed decision-making. Subscribing to the Dinar Daily channel is essential to ensure you receive every significant update, expert analysis, and official market confirmation as events progress. Knowledge is the most powerful tool during moments of historic financial change, and staying informed will empower holders and investors to navigate volatility, recognize emerging opportunities, and act strategically. We encourage you to share this news with others who may benefit from this awareness, as this moment extends beyond individual financial gains. It is a global story touching countless lives. Today, the dinar is more than currency. It is a symbol of opportunity, resilience, and transformation. The reported return of the IQD signifies more than mere tradable value. It marks the beginning of a new potential era for Iraq, its economy, and every individual who maintained belief in its potential. The long-awaited moment has arrived, and with it comes the promise of growth, global acknowledgement, and the ultimate validation of hope long maintained. Your patience, faith, and vision have reportedly been rewarded in a way that few could have ever truly imagined. This is a moment that merges human perseverance with financial history, creating a profound legacy for all who have been involved. The dinar is actively trading. A new chapter in financial history is being written, and the opportunities ahead are presented as real, tangible, and extraordinary.